Hey, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, if you've just recently joined, thanks very much for that. I am Jarrell. I'm not here to set out to be a YouTuber. I'm just a normal dude, and I make games full-time for a living. In the same way that, you know, I can cook, that doesn't make me a chef. I can replace the suspension on a car, but that doesn't make me a mechanic. I can do some soldering, but that doesn't make me, you know, an electrician? What is that? I don't know. I'm not a doctor, I don't know. So, yeah, I'm trying to make videos often because people tell me they enjoy them, whether they're fun or chill or educational, so I'm trying to do them. But this diner here is just for us to hang out. This is where we can be human beings, we can be people. And it is a bit challenging for me to do the YouTube channel because I don't have a facade. It's just me being a person, and I don't have a persona or anything like that. So it's a bit uncomfortable when people sometimes I'll address topics that are just difficult, and that brings negativity my way, and then people are quite insulting, and there's some harassment. And it's unfortunate for me because I don't have this sort of persona where I can say, oh, well, they're not attacking me, they're going after this persona. It's just me here, so it's a little unpleasant, but that's just, you have to deal with it, you have to put up with it. So yeah, this format is just, I can talk about my week here at the diner, and you can come and hang out, you can talk about your week and how things have been. So the topic of the video is I went to help a friend of mine pick up a recliner earlier today. I didn't really understand all the logistics of it. You know, he came over, and then I hopped into his car. We drove over to this place, which is about, you know, 5-minute drive away. And he puts on the GPS and he says, "Oh, I'll put on the GPS." So I'll, you know, go to this house, picking up a recliner. One of those electric chairs, pretty heavy. It's got electronics in it, moves up and down. And then he says, "Yeah, oh yeah, I need a hand carrying that." Puts in the GPS. He finds the place. Says, "Oh, this is the place here." So we pull up into a driveway, and there's this little old man, 90. He looked like he's definitely older than 90. He had the hearing aids, and we greet him. I can tell those hearing aids are not helping that much. So my friend's sort of talking loudly at him. The guy's just nodding along. And then the old fella keeps saying, "Oh, well, my wife's not here right now, so I'm not sure." And he's sort of trying to, maybe telling us to wait. And I'm kind of getting an uncomfortable vibe, and my friend's like, "Oh, no, we'll just have a look at the chair. We'll just have a look at it and see how heavy it is. We'll pick it up and bring it in." And this old fellow is kind of saying like, "Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know." And I'm getting the vibe, you know, you reach a point in your life where you've done enough with your life, you've seen enough, you've been in enough situations where you realize people are giving you a "please don't come into my house" vibe. And I was getting that vibe from this old fella. And my friend saying, "Oh, we'll just go in, we'll go in." And I sort of at that point stepped back, and I sort of went back to the car. And my friend is sort of, we'll go into the house and we'll have a look. And this old guy's, you know, who was already out front of his house, is saying, "Well, my wife's not here. Maybe come back later." You know, my friend was saying, "Oh, well, I'm so-and-so's husband, and I'm here. I'll pick up the chair now." And then the old fella's sort of, my friend said, "This is number 10, right?" And the guy says, No, this is number 6. My friend goes, "Oh, this is the wrong house." So for about 5 minutes, he's trying to force his way into this old guy's, and this old guy's, his hearing aids aren't doing enough. You know, he's already a little, you know, well, he's quite deaf. And so there's this hilarious communication. My friend's loudly shouting at him to try and get into this guy's house. This guy's so confused as to why these two dudes just showed up trying to take one of his chairs away. So that was my morning. I got this delivered, which I'm pretty excited about. This is a summer cart. You put this in your Nintendo 64. You put a micro SD card in there, and then you can play ROMs. I got it for homebrew development. It just makes it easier to test on real hardware, so I can make my ROMs, dick it onto the SD card, and then drop that into your N64. I tried it just earlier. Works great, super rad. The menu was pretty easy. The menu, you can have pictures on your ROMs here. It was really neat. Very cool. So pretty excited about that. I have stuff. I'm always working on stuff outside of my commercial stuff is the focus. When I need to take a break from my commercial work, I'll work on homebrew a little bit, and that's, for me, that's like taking a break, but it still allows me to work on something to improve my skills a little bit. But it is a break. It's fun for me. It's just relaxing. It's important to me that I don't waste money on things that I don't need, things that I'm not going to use. And the other day on AliExpress, I saw a blue shell for the PSP, and I super wanted it. But, you know, my policy is don't waste money on things that you don't need. And I'm not, you know, like Elon Musk, so I don't have a ton of money. But it was 23 bucks Australian for this clear blue shell. And obviously I only wanted it because it's clear blue and it's pretty rad. I mean, this cartridge came in so many different styles, but of course I mean, this is sick, right? So I'm looking at this clear blue shell for the PSP, and I'm thinking, no, I mean, it would only make sense, you know, if my PSP was damaged, and it, you know, I was thinking it'd be stupid. I don't need it. I don't need that. Don't buy it. I don't need it, you know. And I went over to the Discord to try and, you know, we hang out in the Discord. I was trying to justify it and saying, guys, I'm not going to buy it. You know, I would only buy it if my PSP was damaged. But then I just realized, look, there's a crack. There's a crack on the shell. Right here. Look. See that? And I forgot all about it, but because it's there, I keep rubbing my thumb along it, which is very problematic because your thumb's there for the D-pad, right? And I see the crack, and I'm always just doing that. So you see, I've ordered the clear blue shell so I can do the mod, but I am justified. I'm just saying it now that I didn't buy something stupid and useless because it's stupid and useless. I mean, it is cracked, so it was very convenient for me that this is damaged. So there we go. There we go. So the stuff that I'm working on, I've been working on my game, a game framework that's meant for action-adventure games with heaps of RPG elements, and it can be adapted to a number of my upcoming games. I'm working on a game that's set in my new IP that's a post-apocalyptic setting with Wendigos and a mysterious red fog that turns people into Wendigos. My upcoming game is going to be a commercial title, but I'm also making some homebrew sort of versions of it. But this new IP, I really want to use it as sort of a way for me to work on some homebrew stuff, because I'm a huge fan of working on legacy platforms. It's so fun, it's so satisfying. To me, it's an exciting and interesting challenge to create games for legacy platforms, you know, like Game Boy Color, PSP, DS, you know, SNES and N64 and all those things. But for me, it's a chance to push myself to improve, not just as a developer, but as a programmer, you know, you have to engineer solutions, but also as someone who just creates game concepts. You have to think differently, you have to improve. And so for me, it's about self-improvement, it's about getting better, it's about pushing my skills past their limits, but it's also extremely fun to just make something and then have it running on old hardware. So my upcoming game that I'll be launching on modern platforms, but also on the Vita, because I make the modern games in Unity. If I do it in a certain way, if I plan the games properly, it means that I can put it on the Vita as well. But only if I plan ahead and then create the game a certain way. Otherwise, you can't just stick it on the PS Vita. And I like the Vita so much. It's so cool. And I know plenty of you out there are probably just as you're just as enamored with the Vita as I am. And I was working at full speed, about 120 hours a week, and I really only needed 2 weeks work to finish it because I just finished my framework I've been working on it since the start of the year. I've been doing 120-hour work weeks. I only needed 2 weeks to get this game finished, and then probably another week or two of just testing and refining and improving. But then I recently, just a couple days ago, just found out that a friend of mine only has 6 to 12 months to live, and I went and caught up with him. I hadn't seen him since last year. Everyone's busy at the start of the year, you know. So he didn't have the prognosis last year when I saw him. So yeah, just had a visit with him, and it just rattled me a little bit, and I haven't been able to get back to my full work speed. I work at a very demanding, grueling pace, 120 hours a week. Especially when I'm towards the end of game development, I just want to make sure that the work gets done, that I stay focused on the task. And I was working on that, and then I got the news, I saw my friend, and then it rattled me, and I haven't been able to get back to working. I mean, it's only been a couple days. So I haven't been able to get to full speed working on my games. So I've just been trying to do other things, and I'm trying to regain my footing, is what I mean. And I really hope within the next couple days I can just regain my footing and then get back to working full speed on my game. And it's frustrating for me. I super dislike getting like a cold or something, because it means that I can't work at full speed. And I had a bunch of videos planned that were a little more elaborate, that take more scripting and editing and some costuming and props. I had a number of things that I want to get done for the Patreon, so the people that are subscribed. I was going to put up some new downloads. And ever since I've got the news of my friend dying, ever since I visited him, it's just been really hard to get work done. And it's, you know, and I've been through this before. I've dealt with this sort of situation before. I don't think it ever really gets any easier if you're, unless you're dead inside, unless you let your soul be dead inside, then things like this get easier. But for me, it doesn't get any easier. And I already know there's only certain things that we can change about ourselves as people. There are certain aspects that we just can't change. And one of my traits is that I care about people a lot. I've tried to not care so much. I have tried. I've really, really pushed and really made an effort. But it's a part of myself that I just can't change. And it applies even to strangers. Like, even when I meet people who I've never met before, I just genuinely, care about people. And it makes it difficult to function in certain situations, like when I go out and volunteer and play music, at hospitals and things like that. I can't do that in places, say, for example, like hospice, where it's end-of-life care. I can't do that. Oh, man, that is too difficult. So, and that's just, you have to understand things about yourself. You have to understand your strengths and weaknesses, and things that you can change, things that you can't. And that's something that I can't. So, yeah, it's just been really tough. It's been impacting my sleep. It's been very hard to get to sleep, and then I wake up super early. So that's been really frustrating for me. I'm staying locked on target. It's not like I'm not depressed or anything. It's not that, oh, I'm so sad, I don't want to do anything, I can't get anything done. It's just, hey man, if you get punched in the face, you're gonna stumble. Sometimes it takes a little time to just regain your footing. So right now I'm trying to regain my footing. I want to get the stuff done. I try to do stuff on the Patreon every month. I want to be able to give people something. I want to make fun videos for you guys. I have to address industry issues out of responsibility, and I don't really enjoy that. I don't get any personal enjoyment out of that. I just want to do cool stuff. I've been writing a story for this post-apocalyptic Wendigo setting. I'm so amped about it. It's so cool. I'm gonna make a bunch of games in that IP long term, across a bunch of different platforms. And I just want to get it launched out there so people can see the lore and the story that I've written. I want people to just jump right in, because I'm certain that once people jump into the lore, they're gonna see how exciting the idea is to be able to sort of get lost in this world with these ideas that I've come up with, and I'm really excited. But man, I'm just sort of stumbling right now, and I'm trying to regain my footing. Anyway, that's my week. I almost strong-armed my way into an old man's house and stole one of his chairs with a friend of mine, but luckily we figured out in time that it was the wrong house. That's been my day. All right. How's your guys' week been? I hope you've been all right. I don't know if I mean, some of you have been here a while, and you sort of get there's the gag that when I was a teenager, there was a Denny's close to my high school, and then my friends and I would go to the Denny's, and often I would order this thing called like the meat bowl or something, and like 3 or 4 times in a row I got food poisoning. And so that sort of became this sort of correlation that, look, if we're going to Denny's, I've just got to prepare myself. I'm going to get food poisoning. That's just how it is. So here's the catchphrase for the diner. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Let's all meet at Denny's and get food poisoning. See ya. Take care. Bye.